you're doing the right things. You just need to keep doing the right things. Just because it hasn't worked yet doesn't mean it's not gonna work. I got into fishing, and there's these types of fish called steelhead fish, and they're really hard to catch. So they come in from Lake Erie. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and only at certain times of the year they come up the rivers to lay their eggs, and then after winter they go back into the lake. And so long story short, these things are kind of legendary in our area. Like, these are what you want to catch, and I've always heard about them since I was a kid. And a couple of years ago, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I want to learn how to catch steelhead. And so I went out a couple times a week in the cold, in the winter, standing in the river, trying to figure out how to catch these fish. And I fished a whole season and caught not one. I was like, what the heck? I see guys pulling these fish in all around me. I'm in the right spot. I cannot catch these things. But there's just tactics you have to learn. But now I stuck with it. And next year I figured out some stuff. I talked to some people. I got some training from guys who were like, know how to catch them. And now I can go out, and generally I can catch one or two when I go out and fish. So I say all that because you have to keep doing the right principles over and over, because principles are not promises. They're not, if you do this, God will always give you that. It's, if you do this, generally speaking, this good thing eventually happens. You mentioned Dave Ramsey. Like, that's his principles, right? Like, he you know, eventually you start investing in the stock market. Some years the stock market's not good. But if you pulled out your money every time the stock market was bad, it would be terrible. You stick with it year after year, because eventually when you follow certain principles, it pays off over the long haul. The verse, the part that stuck out to me for you is, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap. So that's the mindset I would encourage you to keep as you navigate this. You're doing the right things, I think. You just need to keep doing them.